Welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing the K-drama Just Between Lovers, which aired in 2017 and it's available on Netflix and Viki. It starred Lee Jun-ho, who you may know from The Red Sleeve or King the Land, which I haven't watched King the Land, by the way, so that's just based on what I know about the actor. And then the female lead is played by Won Jin Ah. The second male lead is played by Lee Ki Woo, and then the second female lead is played by Kang Han Na. So this drama is about a tragedy that did actually happen in real life in Korea, where it was a shopping mall and 500 people died. In the show, 48 people die, and it centers around the leads who were 15 years old when the incident happened. The female lead was at the mall with her sister, who was a child actress and model, and then the building collapses, and she was actually on a different level of the mall to her sister because she was trying to meet a guy, and the male lead's father was working on the building and told him to go eat ice cream at the mall, and then the building collapsed. So that's how they meet as children, and then they grow up, and she's lost part of her memory but he remembers everything, and they reunite, and he's like, I know you from somewhere, and he realizes very quickly who she is. They pretty much trauma bonded over the incident because while the building was kind of collapsed and they were like buried under it, they kind of helped each other through the process. So it's about them kind of healing from the wounds of the incident as well as survivor's guilt, and it's pretty much a healing drama about two people with extreme PTSD, but PTSD is extreme anyway, so they have this extreme like survivor's guilt, and it's about them healing through that and like loving each other and realizing that they're not terrible human beings and giving themselves grace. So I really enjoyed this drama. It was 16 episodes. They ran for like an hour 15 minutes each. Some episodes would be a little shorter, some would be a little longer, but that was like the length of each episode, and I really enjoyed it. I would say I enjoyed the drama immensely for the first 9 episodes. It was really consistent. There was really good messaging about how to kind of carry pain and how to live and how not to like beat yourself up over stuff that you cannot control, that you cannot change. And I love some of that messaging. I think that was said about pain and how to tolerate pain, and just really, really interesting things that certain characters would say that really stuck with me. Very philosophical, to be honest, and honestly, like some stuff was going to stick with me for a long time in terms of some of the stuff the characters said in this drama. I'm not pulling anything specifically right now, but I remember being in awe of some of the advice they would give. What I can say that in general, it was just telling you to just keep swimming pretty much and like don't give up. Just because you live doesn't mean you have to suffer, kind of thing. And I really liked that. And the lead's romance was very slow, which makes sense because they're both so traumatized that they don't even believe they deserve to have romantic love. So they're not like jumping into this relationship really quickly either. But when it did develop, it was really fun. It was really nice how they kind of like helped each other and comfort each other. So that was really lovely. Second melody was in love with the female lead from the very beginning, kind of like a love at first look at your work kind of thing, because she was a designer at an architect firm, and the CEO saw her stuff and then he wanted to hire her, and then when he saw her, he just like kind of fell in love at first sight after seeing some of her work and then seeing her in person. And you know, he admitted that he liked her, and she was like, well, I don't like you. She didn't say it in a rude way, but she was just like, I don't want anything to do with you. And he was like, well, I can't, give you up that easily. And he has his own trauma too, because his father committed suicide because he was one of the architects for like the project, and people were blaming his father for what happened, even though it was actually the company's fault, and the company put the blame on his father. So that was what was happening in the show. So he had trauma himself from seeing his father basically commit suicide. Like he saw his dead body like hanging in their house, in his dad's office. So he has trauma from that, and he knows that the leads have trauma too, and like there are times where it feels like he's playing them because he knows more than they do, and he's a bit manipulative when it comes to trying to get with a female lead, because I think a part of him always knew he really had no chance with her. So there's things that he does that are like a little manipulative, but he's kind-hearted. Then the second female lead is in love with the second male lead. They met in university. He was always on her side, and they break up because her father made his father take the blame for the incident which caused his father to commit suicide, which made him to step back from her. But at the same time, he didn't necessarily break up with her after that happened. It was actually the second female lead. He broke up with him because of her father, pretty much, and also because his mother, the second male lead's mother, ended up remarrying the second female lead's father, so they ended up becoming step siblings. So like there's some real weird stuff going on there, but second female lead definitely respects herself, and after trying to push herself onto him multiple times, she kind of like backs down after a while, which is super cool. Then you have the male lead sister, who's a doctor, who's like helping all of them whenever they have like injuries or illnesses and stuff like that. There's this grandma that isn't actually the male lead's grandma, but like someone he's really close to, that helped him after his father died in the incident. His father was actually partially blamed for the incident because he sold a crowbar from the building, and they're like, that's the reason why the whole thing knocked down. So he went to some loan sharks, and this granny loan shark thought, what a good dude, because the way that he tried to get the loan wasn't like other people. Like he was like, I will pay you back kind of thing, and even if I can't, I'll try kind of thing. And she liked how confident he was, so she took him under her wing, and you know, they were very close. And the doctor sister like helps this lady out because she doesn't like going to hospitals or anything, and she's dying of like cancer, and he's not aware until the end of the show, and it's really depressing. And the male lead's family after the incident was really broken up. Like they just went into poverty. They didn't get any payout from the incident either, because again, his father was seen as partially to blame for what actually happened, so they just were living in poverty. And he was with really dodgy people, I guess, like people who dealt with crime and stuff like that, to try and get his sister through medical school. In the drama at that point, she's still doing her medical internship by the time they're doing that. And again, his trauma is more like he was actually underneath the rubble for 7 days, and he was with a dead body, and then he got out. The family got out in 3 days, but they both have equal amounts of trauma. Male lead is shown as a bit more strong because he was in there longer. Like he has panic attacks and stuff like that too, which his sister helps him with, stuff like that. And he gets medication from the grandma for too, because she has this whole like pharmacy in her like apartment as well. The female lead's trauma has to do with the fact that she left her younger sister like at the mall, even if she didn't. Like they went together and she wanted to meet a guy, but that's like her trauma. She's like, am I a bad person? Like, it's both of them think they're terrible people for basically surviving the incident and knowing that other people died, which is understandable. We know survivor's guilt, but the doctor sister's character is pretty much there to like take care of people on the back end whenever they don't want to go to the hospital and stuff like that. I need to pause it. The only thing I'll say negatively about the male lead sister in this show is that there were times where like she was just giving villain vibes. I don't know if it was intentional, but I'd be like side-eyeing her because some of her expressions were just giving, I'm here to create mess. So that was a little bit shady, but aside from that, fine. Actually prefer the second female lead to the male lead sister, to be fair. And then we have the female lead's mother, who is a drunkard after losing her young child and just the trauma of the events. Her parents are also separated because of the incident, and like that makes sense. Usually when parents lose their kids, like they do end up separating, which is pretty accurate. And she also has to kind of like heal her relationship with her mother in the show too, which does kind of get healed. Not ever really fully redressed, but I guess healed. Her relationship with her dad is pretty chill. Like he seemed to kind of he seemed to heal more, but he probably has his own internal. The dad seemed like he had his own internal sadness that he was dealing with, but he appeared to be in less pain, but he probably was carrying his own burdens as well. Then you have the Melly's best friend, who is this really sweet dude who has a mental condition. He's got a condition, but he's a sweet dude, and he's friends with the male lead and everything, and he has these really wise words that he says in a childish way, but words of wisdom that he expresses to the female the male lead, which allows them to try and bond better and reunite after a lot of incidences. But yeah, I mean, overall really good drama. I loved the OST in this drama. The songs are really memorable. There was this one song that was playing repeatedly that sounded like Mad World, and I noticed it before people in the Viki comments were talking about it, so just want to say that. But all the songs were amazing and really, really fit the overall theme of the show. Also liked the way we saw the architecture stuff. That was really cool. The costumes were really lovely. I like the design and everything. Everything just looks really sleek. It was definitely more of a story focused kind of show, but it was still kind of visually pleasing as well, which is great. I recommend it. I will say though, great first 9 episodes. Episode 10 to 16 is kind of annoying because there's this whole back and forth the two lead and male lead are doing, and it's because of their trauma, and it's okay, but you get it, but you're kind of over it at the same time. So I didn't really like that. That's really the only thing that bothered me from episode 10, 16, because I kind of just thought, if it's gonna have a happy ending, just cut all these episodes out and reduce it to about maybe between 8 and 12 episodes, and you've got something a little bit more cohesive. But it was still good, and I still recommend it if you don't mind something between K-trauma and then healing. Check it out. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. Thanks so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.